Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you this afternoon for a album review for this new album review by the band Accept. This is for Humanoid that I got a chance to listen to for what I thought of this record. So I'm gonna discuss what I listened to for this band, Humanoid, or this album Humanoid, I meant to say, and the band's name is Accept. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked and my brain's a little fuzzy today, so please forgive me on that. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for all 11 songs and let you know my thoughts on this record overall. So let's dive into this album review now. This is their 17th studio album, I should say. I am messing up on my wording, so please forgive me on that. I think Diving Into Sin was actually a pretty strong track from what I listened to, just recorrecting myself. So please forgive the errors in this review. I think Mark's vocals were pretty outstanding. Tornillo's vocals, Mark Tornillo. His vocals were pretty strong, and I was really enjoying this track. So, great opening track, Diving Into Sin. So, this is a 5 out of 5. The title track, Humanoid, is a pretty strong track. Definitely very thrashy, heavy metal stuff, and I really enjoyed it. Mark's vocals are pretty good. The lead guitarist sounded really good with his riffs and all that, with what he was doing. With his solos and everything. So this band can really rock for sure. They're a really good heavy metal band. I actually reviewed their record Too Mean to Die a few years ago, which definitely go check out that review. But yeah, this is the follow-up to that record, and yeah, 5 out of 5 for Humanoid. Great song, great title track. Recommend this song. Frankenstein was one of the singles that I was going to listen to, but I kind of bowed out of listening to that single because I wanted to wait till the album came out for a leak, just so I can give you a proper review. And I'm sorry about the errors at the beginning of the review. I'm just, like I said, my brain's a little fuzzy today. Just trying to clear my head a bit of things and just trying to wake up a bit. Kind of wake up, but still my brain's in like a fog or whatever. So Frankenstein is a 5 out of 5. Really enjoyed this. Great song and great single. Man Up was not really one of my favorites. It was solid, but it just kept. There were some cringy moments with Mark's singing when the chorus came in, and I just couldn't really get on board with it. But it's fine for what it is, so this is a 4.5 out of 5. The Reckoning is a pretty strong track. I really enjoyed this for how it sounded, so I'd give this a 5 out of 5. I like the drum work, guitar work, and Mark's vocals in this track. It sounded really outstanding. 5 out of 5. Nobody Gets Out Alive is a 4.75 out of 5 for me. I really think it's a strong track, but I do have my critiques about some execution moments in this song with how it panned out and played out pretty much. So yeah, it's fine for what it is. It's strong in its own way, a pretty good song in its own way. Ravages of Time is another pretty good song in its own way. This is going to get a 4.75 out of 5. I think the nice vocals in this actually sound good. The melody's pretty nice and pretty melodic of a track. It's one of their mellow songs, and it sounds pretty good. So 4.75 out of 5. Unbreakable was another headbanger for sure. Really enjoyed this track for how it sounded, so I'd give this a 5 out of 5. Mind Games is another great song too. I really enjoyed this one, and I'd give this a 5 out of 5. Then comes Straight Up Jack, and that was solid. It's not one of the strong tracks, but it's fine for what it is. I do like the thrashiness in the track from time to time. but it's just the lyrics kind of throw me off, with how cheesy it is. Um, I just think the lyrics could have done a little better lyrical writing, but other than that, I think the song was just about getting drunk and partying, and that's why I couldn't get on board with this song. Um, but overall, it's solid. So 4.5 out of 5. And finally, we get to South Side of Hell. Strong track for what it goes for. I like the outro track to this record because it actually has some good thrash metal and heavy metal stuff that sound really good, in my opinion. And the song works. So this was a really outstanding track, and I'd give this a 5 out of 5. Overall, production, mixing, and execution wise, I found Accept Humanoid to be a pretty strong record. Um, Not as good as the last record, Too Mean to Die, but it's still pretty strong in its own way. So if I were to give this an overall score, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10 for Humanoid by Accept. Pretty much, it's a pretty good record in its own way. I think it will be on my best albums of 2024 by the end of the year, but it's not going to be one of the main highlights for the year. But it is a pretty strong album to really get into and see what you think of it. So basically, yeah, sorry, I thought my PlayStation was going to turn off in 10 minutes or so. So yeah, it has that notification where it says gonna shut down in 10 minutes if you don't press a button or whatever. So pretty much 8.5 out of 10 for Accept Humanoid. I think this is a strong record, and I recommend checking this album out. Mark's vocals are quite outstanding in this track, in this whole album. But there are some moments where the songs get too iffy or cringy in a way. A couple songs, basically. My least favorite was Straight Up Jack and Man Up. Those were the only ones that I couldn't really get on board with. The other ones are fine, and the other tracks are very strong, but this record did impress me for what it went for. So, yeah, 8.5 out of 10 for Accept Humanoid for their new record that comes out at midnight tonight. Thank you for watching this album review today.